U.S. Route 19 in Georgia. U.S. Route 19 US 19 is a 349-mile-long 562 km U.S. highway in the U.S. state of Georgia. It travels from the Florida state line south-southeast of Thomasville, Georgia, through Albany and Atlanta, to the North Carolina state line at a point north of Lake Nottely. Route description. US 19 enters Georgia in a concurrency with SR 3 and SR 300 as the Georgia-Florida Parkway south-southeast of Thomasville. Within the vicinity of Thomasville, it has a concurrency with US 84 where it has intersections with Georgia State Route 122 and US Route 319 before US 84 finally branches off to the west. It continues north, traveling through Meigs where it intersects SR 3 Alt and SR 111. Later, it runs through Albany, where it becomes a limited access highway, has a brief concurrency with US 82, and the concurrency with SR 300 comes to an end. Further north, it runs through Americus, where it joins US 280 for 1 mile, then Ellaville, where it intersects SR 26. Between Taylor and Upson County, it has a concurrency with US 80 that ends south of Thomaston and later runs through Zebulon where it runs in a one-way pair and intersects SR 18. It joins US 41 and proceeds north to Griffin. It then proceeds through the western tip of Henry County, traveling through Hampton, home of the Atlanta Motor Speedway. US 19 continues north through Clayton County, where it is known as Tara Boulevard, before entering Atlanta. Within Atlanta, US 19/US 41 runs along Northside Drive, where it is joined by US 29/Georgia connecting Route 3 Chapel Street Southwest. From there, US 19/29/41/SR3 runs north and then curves northeast, passing by a group of condominiums called the Villages of Castleberry Hill, before the road curves straight north between Nelson Street Southwest and Markham Street Southwest. Here, the routes run along the west side of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium next door to the Georgia World Congress Center. US 29 leaves the concurrency with US 19/41 in the vicinity Georgia Tech and turns northwest onto US 78/US 278/SR8, which leaves US 19/41 to go west. The highway briefly curves northeast as it passes over some Norfolk Southern Railway lines, then turns north again at a partial interchange with Tech Parkway northwest. Leaving the vicinity of Georgia Tech, it splits from US 41/SR3 after traveling through downtown Atlanta and turns right onto 14th Street. 1 block after the interchange with I-75/85, the downtown connector in Midtown, it has an intersection with a one-way pair with Spring Street southbound US 19 before turning north on Peachtree Street. The one-way pair ends at the vicinity of a complex interchange with Georgia State Route 13 and the Savannah College of Art and Design Atlanta campus, just south of a crossing over I-85, which includes the historic Peachtree Amtrak station. After several miles, it intersects SR 141 in Buckhead, where Peachtree Street continues. It follows Roswell Road north through the city of Sandy Springs. At its southern interchange with I-285, it splits from SR 9 and overlaps I-285 between exits 25 and 27, the latter of which is for SR 400, which it overlaps north of there. Most of this section is a limited access road with 4 lanes in each direction, becoming 2 lanes in each direction as the highway continues away from the northern suburbs of Atlanta. It arrives in Dahlonega, where it is no longer concurrent with SR 400, before about 37 miles 60 km of extremely curvy road, which includes a concurrency with US 129. From the north side of the state, the last major town it travels through is Blairsville. Northwest from there, US 19/129/SR 11 passes the southwest border of the Butternut Creek Golf Course before entering Youngstown. The road turns north again where it utilizes a short causeway over Wellborn Branch, a tributary of the Nottely River, before intersecting the northern terminus of Pat Harrelson Memorial Drive, and across from this a local marina with a gas station/convenience store. Random current and former boating and automotive-related businesses can be found along the way even as the road enters Canal Lake, where another short causeway that makes a pond leading to Stevens Branch Creek and is served by the Nottely Marina. Between an antique store and a furniture store, a power line right-of-way crosses from southeast to northwest as it heads over a mountain, and the road runs along the east side of that power line. Moving further away from those power lines, the road passes by a Cott Beverages production facility, a third causeway that creates a pond for Ivilog Creek, whereas further north a small culvert over Conley Creek is not used as a dam. Flashing lights on the top and bottom of the two signal crossing signs are an indication the routes are about to enter Ivilog, where the eastern terminus of Georgia State Route 325 can be found across from Ivy Log Road. North of the heart of Ivy Log, the Ivy Log Cemetery can be found hidden away in a driveway among more residential zoning. The rest of the surroundings are primarily farm and ranch land, even as it runs under another power line right-of-way running from southwest to northeast south of T. Chapel Road. The last two intersections in the state of Georgia are local roads, the first named Tate Road and a dead-end street named B. King Lane, which leads to an antique store. A gas station and strip mall can be found on the southwest corner of the North Carolina state line, where SR 11 meets its northern terminus, while US 19 continues towards Erie, Pennsylvania, and US 129 continues towards Knoxville, Tennessee. The following portions of US 19 in Georgia is part of the National Highway System, a system of routes determined to be the most important for the nation's economy, mobility, and defense. From the Florida state line to the I-75 interchange west of Morrow. From the SR 13 interchange in Atlanta to the North Carolina state line. History. US 19 has been gradually four-laned since the 1950s. Initially, this was in the urban areas, but Georgia began four-laning the route through most of the rural sections of the state in the 1990s. The section from Griffin to Thomaston was four-laned by the early 1990s, while the section from Thomaston to Leesburg was completed in sections between 2000 and 2010. In 2006, business and government officials in southwest Georgia began a campaign to have I-185 extended to Monticello, Florida, and connect with I-10. The proposed route of the highway would have traveled parallel to SR 520, known as Corridor Z, to Albany, and then parallel to US 19. Local opposition to the plan soon emerged. Critics argued that the proposed interstate would siphon business from small towns that the new road bypassed. In 2009, Georgia's Department of Transportation concluded a two-year study of the proposal, which found that extending I-185 would be inconsistent with existing comprehensive land use plans, would have a negative impact on prime agricultural land, forests, and cultural assets, and could have a detrimental impact on poverty and minority populations. GDOT announced it would instead focus on upgrading and improving other key arterial highways in southwest Georgia, including SR 133 between Albany and Valdosta. Major intersections.